Build that wall.
Yeah, that was one of the president's rallying cries back on the campaign trail. But is it worth a government shutdown? And who's going to blink first, the president or Congress? Joining me now, Fox News chief political anchor and host a special report. It is Bret Baier. It certainly is. Bret Baier, welcome back.
Hey, Gandhi.
So, Bret, let us discuss what are the chances that we will see in just a few short weeks a government shutdown.
Well, I think that they're, increasing as you see this game of legislative chicken playing out between the president and Congress. The funny thing is that the House has already funded the wall in its Homeland Security budget, but it has to get through the Senate. There's a lot of hurdles that have to happen here in negotiations, and right now we're in a very public back and forth between the president and Mitch McConnell, President and Paul Ryan, and it's unusual. It's unique for members of the same party to be kind of publicly going back and forth. The president, this is his tactic, and he throws it out there. I think that there's a decent chance that this can get through, but it will be painful before you get there.
So is there a way of raising the debt ceiling and coming up with a budget that doesn't include wall funding, that still doesn't equal a big loss for the president?
Well, it's the classic thing in Washington, which is called the punt, and that is a continuing resolution that punts the tough decisions down the road a little bit. I don't know if Washington's going to go for that. The debt ceiling is separate. They're going to have to figure out a way and a plan to raise the debt ceiling separate of all those decisions. But as far as the wall funding and the budget, they fund the budget as it is now, and then they battle over the rest in coming months. That's usually how it works here. This may be different this year, and Republicans may have votes that they don't know they have yet. For example, Democratic Senator Menendez is currently in a corruption trial in New Jersey, and the judge has said he had to stay there physically. Well, that means potentially he's going to miss big votes.
Oh.
And that means potentially that Democrats will have one less vote and Republicans will have one more. So it's all about Senate math.
Well, perhaps, but Senator McCain is also receiving treatment for his brain tumor right now. So that sort of evens itself out mathematically. But the big question is, what are they going to get done between now and the end of the year? We know that there are only 12 legislative days before that debt ceiling has to be raised, and there are still so many big-ticket items on the agenda.
Yeah, I think debt ceiling will be one that will happen. Mitch McConnell has promised that. Paul Ryan has promised that. I don't think that there's going to be a lot of pushback. Democrats will try to throw a wrench into the gears a number of different ways, a number of different times, but frankly they don't have the votes to be able to really do that. Tax reform, I think, is the big question, and whether something big or something not even huge, but something on tax reform, a W, forms sometime in the fall, especially with pressure against Democrats who are facing re-election in states that Donald Trump won.
Yeah. What if they don't get to tax reform before the end of the year? What does that do politically to midterm chances?
I think it hurts Republicans. They have a harder story to tell. They did get some things done. The VA changes. They've gotten some things done, but on the congressional side, it has been big ticket items have been short in supply.
Big ticket items. I mean, let's talk about health care a little bit. The president's still tweeting this morning at Mitch McConnell about not having some sort of a solution with 7 years to stew about failing Obamacare. So, I mean, how does that inject itself into the mix? Because if Mitch McConnell is saying, man, we got to move on. We have other stuff we have to do. We have to get this economy going. We need political victories. Is there something practical going on with the president's haranguing? Or is it time to really move past health care and get to this stuff?
Well, listen, that's where the Senate wants to be. The leadership wants to move on, fight another day on other things, but I'm not sure health care is done. They're going to have to do something to shore up the insurance markets, and there's a bipartisan effort underway to try to do that, but it's not going to be pleasant for conservatives who've been trying to repeal and replace Obamacare for 7 years. So I think they may bring it up again, believe it or not, and that's going to be another one of these battles, these loggerheads that we're going to see. Don't be surprised if you tie debt ceiling to something else that they want to get through.
Yeah, and that commonly happens because it's a lot easier to pass debt ceiling with two parties who are addicted to spending money, and I won't be surprised to see something tethered to that, just as you predict. Bret Baier, thank you so much.